KTRS. Tom Rivers live in London with ABC News. Good morning, Tom.
Hey, good morning.
So first, let's talk about all of these racially charged incidents we're hearing about in London. What's going on?
Yeah, we're seeing reported in the local media here, seemingly at different parts of the country, some members now on the heels of the exit vote taking it out on various different minority groups here, graffiti, that sort of thing, verbal insults. So that certainly has been a spike ever since the vote came down the end of last week.
And from what I understand, it's from random people. I heard one story that there was a Polish family who'd lived in London for generations, is now being criticized to go back to London or go back to Poland.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you'll hear different people. Some say, look, they've lived in London or elsewhere in the UK for a long period of time and never hearing any of this now. It seems like all of these emotions, at least in some people, are boiling up now. So, yes, a little bit of nervousness up and down the UK right now. People don't know if this is standard operating procedure. Is this the new normal, or what the heck is going on here? With
that, Tom, we're also hearing that this buyer's remorse is getting stronger. Any evidence of that in London? And
you know, it's good grist for the mill, for the media mill, and you hear some people talking about it, but from the horse's mouth, Cameron says the result is what it is. It's not the result he likes, but he says there's not going to be any do-overs. We're not going to go back. He says I got to hand off to the next person who's going to be taking over from his job, and in essence, that person's going to have to do all of the heavy-duty detail work of pulling out of Europe. And they're having a summit today in Brussels, and it'll be the first one that Cameron meets up with his European colleagues, and it's going to be pretty tense.
Yeah, now let's talk about this for a moment, because the rest of the European Union is saying, all right, Great Britain, you're in or you're out, and the London officials or the Great Britain officials are saying we want to go slow. So explain that to us all.
Exactly. It's called Article 50. There's no way anybody should know that, but that is the mechanism whereby a country can leave the European Union. It was part of the Lisbon Treaty, and no one who signed up to that treaty ever thought that this thing would ever be invoked. It is being invoked now. The EU commissioner, sensing that others are lining up behind Britain, such as Denmark, Netherlands, they want their referendums. He says, I want to cut this thing real quick, and I want you guys to leave hopefully in the next hour. Cameron says, hey, we signed the paper, and it says we leave when we want to leave, and we're having an election first. So we're not even going to touch that for at least 10 weeks. So ultimately, London, in this case, trumps Brussels. London will leave when it wants to leave.
There's also a sense that the EU will be very tough on England, so that to send a message to the rest of the EU countries thinking about leaving, that if you leave, it's going to be very brutal on you.
Yeah, that's part of the calculus, because they know the mood in not all European countries, but some. Is certainly I would like to leave as well. And part of the strategy will be to put down a marker saying, well, if you do it, you're going to be behind the eight ball economically. So yes, there's going to be some deterrent there as well. But of course, the Leave campaign right now across Europe is gaining momentum, and they may just run roughshod over that and say the whole system is corrupt. And there's calls actually for the EU commissioner to fall on his sword and, in essence, depart as well. So you're hearing it left, right, and center.
We're also hearing that a lot of Britons are trying to get an Irish passport. Have you heard that?
Exactly. There's a double in people that are knocking on doors. Like if your grandmother came from Ireland and you're a British citizen now, yes, you can jump through some hoops and get an Irish passport as well, an EU passport. So yes, that certainly is happening. The Irish are saying, look, our embassy is overwhelmed. Don't do it, please. But of course, if people want to do it, they will do it.
And so the point is that they would have dual citizenship so they could still enjoy all the benefits of the European Union.
Exactly. So if they want to study in Paris, they gotta, they grab their Irish passport and cut a deal that way. If they want to travel throughout the European continent, they got a whole lot easier way of doing it than if you're a single country that has to cut individual visa requirements, et cetera, et cetera. So it makes perfectly good sense, and I would assume you're going to see a lot of cross-traffic in the coming months here in the UK, because there's a lot of connections. A lot of people moved over to the UK many, many decades ago. There's going to be a lot of people saying, I'm entitled to a Irish passport, I'm going to get one.
Wow, what a mess. Tom Rivers live in London. Tom, thanks for checking in.
Take care.
6:57.